Hey there, Angry Faithful. I just wanted to drop in, bend your ear a little bit, get your attention. So if you're not listening, drop what you're doing and pay attention to me because I'm here to inform you that not only can you get your daily, maybe if you're binging it, I'm not sure, that's entirely up to you, but you can multiply your doses of angry me fuckery by paying attention to all of the platforms upon which you can find either the dulcet tones of my voice and David's voice, or my pretty face and David's not so pretty face. Anyways, digressing, we not only we are on YouTube, we are on Spotify, we're on Rumble, we're on Google, Apple Podcast. We have a TikTok page. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and of course Facebook. So if you find yourself fuckery deprived, curl up with a nice hot mug of shut the fuck up and just listen. Open those ear holes and be prepared to be cream pied like it's the first time. Thanks for listening.
Welcome, Angry Faithful. Today on Nerd Sports 71, we're going to start talking about Red Bull's box cart racing. It's actually coming up.
Red Bull 6 box cart racing. Yeah, I've seen that. Like, where guys completely eat it whenever they hit a little kick jump.
Yeah, and not even that. You also have the designs and everything like that. It's a 2-man thing.
Oh yeah,
you have to have two people in the box car, no matter what. And okay, can you hear me a little bit better now? Okay.
Yes,
you have to have like
smooth and dulcet.
I know. You have to have two people
alluring.
God.
Yeah, you have to have two people in these things.
And designing them is actually pretty funny.
Yeah, I saw one over the weekend. I saw a video. It looked like this guy had built one that had like an Airstream trailer on it. And he was going down the course backwards.
Yes, I've seen that too. That was awesome.
But when he crossed the finish line, the driver comes out of the trailer. So it was actually going forward. They just designed it to run backward, which I was like, okay, all right. I see what they're doing there. And yeah, I mean, dude, that stuff is just fun to watch. It really is.
But what kind of sport? We did have one sport that I wanted to say out real quick.
Yeah.
God damn it, I forgot his name. It was an MMA fighter. I forget.
Oh yeah.
He calls out like Jimmy Kimmel, Hollywood, and the media as pedophiles.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, dude, he got canceled by everybody. Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok both banned him.
Really?
Yeah. Andrew Tate. That's his name.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was one of those things. Is like he I hate to say this, but it's his own views, and every time anything that comes out, like I hate to say this, anything that comes.
This episode is brought to you by the classic and the much loved Frosted Cherry Pop-Tarts.
God. But anybody that does anything, what I found out is whenever anybody does anything like conspiracy theory or anything like that, I'm so scared of actually saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you say that, and it'll click the algorithms and everything like that, and it'll throw you off. Tansy and me were talking, and he made a Facebook. No, it was Instagram. He made an Instagram group, and the first thing he posts is I think UN is gearing up with 300,000 troops They're trying to get 300,000 troops, and he's like, I wonder what this is for. Not a conspiracy theorist or anything like that. Got taken down. Pages got taken down as soon as he did that. It's getting crazy out there on some of this stuff.
Mm. But yeah, no, dude. I want to have an optimistic point of view, a viewpoint in the world, but I mean, I'm just being selfish here because I don't want things to go south. I'd like to be in my brand new house for at least a year or two, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that without getting too far off into the weeds, so we can kind of transition back into sports, but I think that the left is going to do either something incredibly bold and basically kind of declare martial law during the elections to steal them, or they're going to get their asses handed to them.
Well, we still have
And I'm talking about both the midterm. I'm talking about both the midterm and the presidential.
That would be really strange if they start doing that. But anyways,
yeah. But anyway, so moving on. Real quick, I know I normally touch on baseball first, but the Sean Johnson lost his arbitration, his mediation case, and he got. Let me see here. What was it? An 11-game and was fined, I think, like $3 million. After the mediator came in, and I mean, you knew as soon as Roger Goodell announced that who he was going to have be the arbiter in this case, that it was not going to end well for Deshaun Johnson or Jack Watson. I'm sorry, Deshaun Watson. It wasn't going to end well for him. So, I mean, play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. I mean, it's kind of, I mean, you see it all over the place. So, and it's not just necessarily to the sporting world kind of a thing. It's literally, it's all over the place. And it's funny because in a related story, Baker Mayfield actually got signed by the Carolina Panthers, and yesterday they named him their Week 1 starter for the regular season.
Really?
Yeah. So, I mean, Baker Mayfield, I mean, love him or hate him, I mean, the guy's got some talent. He's got, you know, he's got the ability to drive a team down the field. I mean, I hope he has a good season. I really do. I hope he has an amazing season. But just to kind of, you know, point that finger back in Cleveland's face and be like, hey, look, you know, we could have been there, but no, not so much, you know. And it just seems like the Cleveland Browns are constantly in a rebuilding year, and it's just, dude, it's horrific, man. It's laughable. I mean, I honestly think that that ownership group should be made to sell the team to another party, and hopefully that person can. I mean, I, I mean, obviously you can get worse, and you can be the Jets, but this is the Cleveland Browns, man. I mean, you have to kind of wonder, when is God going to take his neck off of or his foot off of the neck of Browns fans? And I'm just like, it's just it's painful to watch that team. It really is. During the season, during the off season, it's painful because it just that front office just seems to shoot itself in the foot every damn time. They get a chance. So, but moving on, the regular season's winding down, man. So I don't know. We're coming down to it. Look at the standings. We're not going to talk about the Red Sox because, well, they're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying that. I was listening. I'm trying to listen to other sports podcasts, so they have something interesting. But they're saying the Red Sox
yeah.
going anywhere this year. It's one of the.
They're not.
I'm trying to figure out.
To be completely and perfectly honest with you, they should have never made it to the ALCS last year.
Really, you're going off
yeah. I mean, they should have never made it to the American League Championship Series last year. I mean, they got hot at the right time.
You don't think that's going to happen this year?
We're sitting going into tonight. Tonight is game 123.
Mm-hmm.
And they're 2 games below 500. They're 6 games back of the last wild card spot. I mean, we got teams like Tampa Bay, Toronto, Seattle's on fire right now. I just don't see it happening for them. I really don't. The Texas Rangers fired John Daniels, their general manager, finally. I was reading some quotes that were like, he had a million chances to prove that he could do, that he could make the team better after Ryan left, and he just never did. They fired their manager. And I mean, they went out and spent $500 million over the last, during the last offseason. Right now, they're 11 games under 500.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're playing 56 and 66 baseball right now. That's a 459 winning average. They're 21 and a half games out of first place behind Houston. They're 10 games back from the last wild card spot. Just because I know that my oldest son is a Rangers fan, I'm not gonna just completely tear this organization down to the foundation, but they need some help. They need to figure it out. And I think when they got rid of Joey Gallo, they, instead of trading him to the Yankees, they should have went out and they should have traded him away to some other team for some pitching prospects, because that's another thing that this team is sorely lacking is a pitching staff. I mean, we're talking starters, we're talking relievers in the bullpen, we're talking their farm system is probably one of the worst in the major leagues. And I don't know, I mean, it's rough, dude. It really is. The Angels today was quoted as saying he's entertaining thoughts of putting the team up for sale, which
Really?
fine, because ever since they drafted Mike Trout, dude, they have been wasting that poor guy's fucking career. I mean, they really have. They've been wasting his career because they've got quite possibly one of the best ball players on the planet playing for a team that's playing 426 baseball right now. I mean, they're 25 and a half games back of first place. They're 14 games out of the wild card spot going into tonight. And then you're going to go out and you're going to spend all this money on guys like Shohei Ohtani. And what? For what? I mean, all you're using him for now is just to boost your ticket sales. You're not giving these guys their due. I mean, these guys are what I would classify as generational talent, and you're letting them waste their entire careers playing for a team that's, playing for an owner that's not willing to do what it takes to put championship style baseball out on the field. Period. Find yourself a general manager and sell the team, or vice versa. Sell the team and let the new owners come up with a new general manager. All there is to it. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, the last time that the Angels were relevant was when they won the World Series back in like 2002, I think it was.
I thought it was
So,
more or less the Angels and Outfits movie.
no,
Last time they were relevant.
no. I mean,
Pretty sad to remember that.
and it's what's funny is the fact is that, you got the Dodgers in LA. I mean, you're basically just down the street from them. When I say down the street, you're more like an hour commute from one ballpark to the next, but you got the Dodgers over there. They're spending all this money and they're actually putting together teams that can win games.
Yeah.
And I mean, by comparison, all right. So the Angels have won 52 games. The Dodgers have won 84. That is 32 games to the plus. And the Dodgers are playing a harder schedule. No, they just are. I don't know, man.
It seemed like it's from what you're saying and everything. A lot of the teams that are playing right now. I mean, the only one. What? God, I just totally blanked out. No, isn't the Dodgers like on a winning streak? Or who's?
Yeah, the Dodgers. They lost last night. So, but I mean, out of their last 10, there's 6-4 out of their last 10.
I mean, they made a big win. I mean, how many?
Yeah, it was like a 12-game
Like,
winning streak.
yeah, I think it was like 12.
But it's oh man, it's all right. So let's kind of break this down. Let's go back to the Texas Rangers.
Okay.
All right. They're playing losing baseball home and away. I mean, they're getting jumped on. I mean, it's about even, right? Actually, they're playing worse at home than they are on the road. They're 27-34 at home. They're 29-32 on the road. They're 29-44 against teams with against teams that are playing over 500.
Okay.
Okay. So by 500, I mean they got the same amount of wins versus the same amount of losses. Everybody starts with a 1,000%, 1,000 percentage, right?
Okay.
And then like New York Mets, they're 76 or 79-45. That's 0.637. All right. They're winning 63, almost 64% of their games so far. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The Texas Rangers are only winning 46% of their games. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like the Angels, they're winning 43% of their games. They're 26-36 at home. They're 26-34 on the road, and they're 26-47 versus teams playing better than 500 baseball right now. their expected win versus their expected win-loss record based on runs scored and runs allowed. The Texas Rangers are expected to finish the season at 62-60, which is 2 games under 500.
Wait a
The
minute.
Red Sox are they're expected, based on what their offense is doing versus their defense, they're expected to finish the year 62-60.
I'm looking at today's game. It's 56-66 right now.
No, it's not today's game. That's their win-loss record going into tonight's game.
Oh, okay. God. I'm like,
look at that. See, everybody just got to witness David learn something. That was amazing. All right, so now we're moving on with our tour. So, now if you want to pick the absolute worst, and I'm talking the worst team in baseball right now, owners of the worst record in Major League Baseball, resides in our nation's capital with the Washington Nationals. They're playing 41-82 baseball right now. That's a 333 winning average or percentage. They've won they've scored 461 runs. They've allowed 670 runs. They're 19-44 at home, 22-38 on the road, and teams with a better than 500 record, they're 20-47 against. That is horrific. That's because they had huge, trade-off, fire sale, whatever. They lost Bryce Harper, but that really wasn't a loss because they went out and won the World Series the following year against the Houston Astros. Now, they just traded away Juan Soto to the San Diego Padres. They're basically rebuilding. They've torn this entire team down. And, I would almost think that they're trying to tank it to the rest of the way so they can get that number 1 pick in next year's baseball draft. But the new collective bargaining agreement has got things in place to prevent teams from tanking, i.e. in the form of penalties and things like that. But it's I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how the playoff field kind of brings itself together. How, who's going to get hot at the right time. I would love to see the Yankees just absolutely sputter and stall going into the month of October. It's going to be funny. Oh, and going into football, okay, I told you that Baker Mayfield is starting week 1 for the Panthers, right? You know who they're playing week 1?
Who?
The Cleveland Browns.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, we also have Steelers released linebacker Gerald Avery. On Monday, the Pittsburgh announced 5 more roster moves to get the training camp roster cut to the required 80 play. Is everybody having problems like cutting players, or is it just the starting off of the playoffs? They always do that.
No, I would like to think that it's going to be it's a good problem to have for these teams to get down to the required number of players. But
because I'm going on the lines is like the Cowboys, Steelers, and all kinds of other ones too.
Right. I don't know, man. It's going to be a fun season to watch.
Because if you think about it, wow, that was. If you think about it, all the people that are playing fantasy football and everything, they're growing the line and who just do the get their players and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thing with the complications and everything, because I don't know. Let me look up real quick. I had it right there. I'm trying to figure out I can't find anything when the for fantasy football stuff, because usually the fantasy football draft is end of August, because they usually start the season like in September. Um, it's only because I end up learning this through a lot of the sports shows I ended up listening to and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of puts a kind of damper on that, because if they go past that and they still haven't cut people and everything like that, there's going to be a lot of players if they, you know, they pick and they ended up, oh no, my player's just gone. It's going to suck. I wonder. I wonder what the uh ruling on that would be.
Well, generally speaking, they don't hold fantasy drafts until the week before.
Yes.
So they know who the final rosters are going to, they know who's on the final rosters and things of that nature. I mean, any league will, worth their salt will do that. They'll wait until the rosters have been finalized because they know that holding a draft during the preseason is not going to do any good, because you may pick somebody who's going to get cut the next day. So you don't know. So, I mean, I don't think it's going to affect fantasy football all that much. I think that all these leagues are going to wait until maybe a few days before the season starts, just so that way they can get their roster sorted. I mean, because it's nothing to hold a draft. It really isn't. It's nothing to hold a draft. You hold a draft, their players, and then at that point you figure out schedules, who's going to play who in the fantasy league, and then you start adjusting who you're going to bench, who you're going to start, stuff like that. I don't think it's going to affect the fantasy leagues too much.
Okay. Uh, there really
But
was. I've been looking around for like news and sports and everything. I'm not really finding it.
yeah, NASCAR. Kyle Larson swept the weekend at Watkins Glen up in New York, the road course there. He won the Xfinity race. He also won the Cup race. Now, the Cup race, there was a little bit of drama there. Chase Elliott, his teammate, was supposed to be favored to win that race, and they it was first and second. Late race restart. Kyle Larson took Chase Elliott a little wide and used that to, take the win. Uh, Chase
Wasn't
Elliott
there?
obviously was
Wasn't there?
very do what?
There was a collision. I was
Yeah,
reading some kind of collision with
yeah.
Kevin.
Well, it wasn't necessarily a collision. Chase Elliott was on the outside. Kyle Larson was on the inside. I don't know if Larson took it wide on purpose or if he got loose and got into the nine, but that he basically made that corner using the 9 car as a pick, and Chase Elliott was not happy. I mean, because he had the car to beat, but um, you know, uh, Kyle Larson did come back and he was like, yeah, I mean, I need to race him. I need to race him better. And, that, I could see where was, he said, I could see where he was coming from. I mean, Kyle Larson's not surprised that Chase Elliott's pissed off at him. But, you know, uh, I don't know. There's not a lot of news. Kyle Busch has given every indication that he won't be returning to Joe Gibbs Motorsports Joe Gibbs Racing next year. We'll see who signs him. I'm thinking it's probably going to be Stewart Haas, which is Tony Stewart's team. We'll see, but I know that we've got something to do this week still, so I'm going to try to do. Because I'm using my phone as the camera now because I'm beta testing still and I'm using that continuity app.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to see if I can call him on the Mac with FaceTime and see if we can just see if you can hear him, kind of a thing. That makes sense.
You want me to just call him so
All right, so
I can Bluetooth it on my phone?
no. Let me call him real quick.
Okay.
Hey, bud. Oh, and he hung up. No. Try the FaceTime. Thought I was calling on video. Can you not be on video?
What?
Is your camera not on? Can you see me at all? In hindsight, we probably should have gotten this squared away prior.
It happens.
Yeah.
I end up like looking at other.
Oh, there he is. Hold on, David.
Okay.
Colin, say something.
Something.
I can
Something.
somewhat hear him.
Do
All
you
right.
got like a green screen?
No, it's not a green screen.
It's weird. It kind of looks like it.
Oh, you talking about my sister-in-law's
Happening behind you.
backdrop here? Yeah.
You look like you're in a green screen.
Oh, well, that's because I'm using my phone as my camera. Anyway. All right. Can you hear him just fine, though, David?
Yeah, I can hear him just fine.
Okay. All right, Colin, wait
I think
for
you're
it.
gonna like this one a lot.
All right, hold on just a second. Let me get your intro going here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, members of the jury, it is now the time of week that we have all come to know, love, look forward to, and chase. It's joke time with Colin. All right, go ahead, bud.
With the penis stage of the condom.
Right.
I'm going in.
Cover me. I'm going in.
Yeah.
Oh. What if the enemy's allergic to latex, bud?
Then he better learn how to pull
What?
out.
What'd you say?
You better learn that pull-out game real quick.
Hell yeah. All right. All right. All right, everybody.
Hey, how was school today, bud?
Good.
Good? All right. Hey, I'll call you guys here in a little bit, all right?
Okay.
All right, love you, bud.
Love you. Later.
Later. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was my genetic code. As always, on display for your eyes and ear holes. You are welcome. All right.
And that's end of Nerd Sports 71.
71.
Yep.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm David Dickerman.
We've only got 29 more weeks to figure out, 28 weeks to figure out what we're going to do for episode 100.
I thought we had. We'll have to figure out.
We'll
when
have to figure it out.
everything.
Yeah, you know, if anything else,
It should be like in March or something like that, right?
I say come on down and we'll figure out something. You're playing something.
But yeah. But anyways, everybody. I'm David Dickerman.
I'm Johnny Skelton.
This is.
Thanks for listening. I'm talking over you. Yes, this is Nerd Sports, episode 71, brought to you by Angry Me Production.
Victory!